The Cauliflower Alley Club exists to help those in the wrestling business who have fallen on hard times. Your membership is the lifeblood of our club and mission. Annual memberships start at only $27.50 per year. Plus,
You wrestling fans, happy Memorial Day Eve and welcome to another SICW Sunday night. Herb, what a great promotion there for the Cauliflower Alley Club. Something near and dear to your heart and coming up pretty quick here.
Oh, it's going to be here before we know it, and I was happy to talk with our CEO, President Brian Blair, and told him, we need to get the word out there even more. So we threw that little commercial together thanks to our good friend Mac Davis, and did a great job on it. And you're right, the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion, 57th annual reunion is going to be right up on us.
Coming up the last week of August this year, moved up from September to the last week of August this year, back at the Plaza Hotel in Las Vegas, and it's time to sign up.
It's time to sign up, become a member, and you'll feel good about that, helping all of our wrestlers that maybe need some assistance, and you can help them out by becoming a member, as you've seen on the little promo there, for as little as $27.50 a year, or lifetime membership, $300. You'll really feel good about it if you grew up in watching professional wrestling and helping out the men and women who have entertained us all these years.
Herb, you've been there as a presenter, you've been there as an award recipient, you've been there to present an award. Any big surprises for the SICW fans this year?
I'm sure that there's always surprises. When you have the executive board, they start working on the next year, the day after last year, and they're still working. There is some surprises coming. Brian Blair texted me earlier and this week and said more surprises, so stay tuned, and we'll be breaking it here on SICW as soon as we get it.
Yeah, fans every Sunday night leading up to the big time at the Cauliflower Alley reunion. We will be talking about it here on SICW All-Star Wrestling, so stay tuned for that. But until then, Herb, we are 6 days away from a big fundraiser this Saturday, June 3rd at the Belclair Fairgrounds for Dupo Sergeant Pat Carrier.
Well, and what a great cause that is. We've been talking about it, and we're going to continue to talk about it because it is right up on us. June 3rd, Sergeant Patrick Carrier of the Dupo Police Department was shot in the line of duty back in February, and he's on the road to recovery. And we said back then we didn't want him to be on this journey by himself. And so with the help of a lot of people, as brothers and sisters in blue, we hope to make this a great fundraiser for him, to help him take a little of that stress and burden off of him. He's been out of work, of course, and going through therapy. He's had a couple of surgeries, so we just want to make it a little bit easier on him, and the way we can all chip in and do that is by supporting this fundraiser on Saturday, June 3rd at the Belclair Fairgrounds. We're going to have an emergency vehicle display starting at 5 p.m. that evening, so bring the youngsters out, let them see some of the equipment there. Great silent auction. We're getting some of the items gathered up for that you'll be hearing us talk about. But then at 7 o'clock, the SICW wrestling show will start, got a big steel cage match with wrestling superstar Kevin Sullivan and the Purple Haze going against the popular Flash Flanagan, and a lot more that you're going to hear us talk about.
Absolutely, and Herb, sponsorships are one of the best ways people can help us individually, help us with your business. We have match sponsorships, we have table sponsorships, we have some chief level sponsorships that are even bigger, and we've already had some great sponsors step up here. We've had sponsorships from County Board Chairman Mark Kern. We've had sponsorships from Taylor Roofing, the Fraternal Order of Police.
Mueller Furniture.
Mueller Furniture is one of our newest sponsors.
Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Worldwide Technology Raceway. I mean, the sponsorships are something that really helps make this successful, and we also want to see you at the matches. But go to SICW.org right now, get your tickets for that event, reserve your table, make a sponsorship, do what you can to help Sergeant Carrier as he moves on down the road. The road to recovery is long. And you were able to, shortly after Sergeant Carrier was injured in the line of duty, catch up with Dupo Police Chief Plew about what the whole event was like.
Well, and I think that was important to do. His officer was going through a trying time with being injured like that, so we wanted to kind of get his perspective, and then also, we've put this committee together to help with this fundraiser. So Chief Plew sits on that committee. So I think it's only right that we replay that and kind of let him hear what Chief Plew had to say right after the incident happened.
Absolutely, folks. So let's go back to February, and here's some words from Chief Dennis Plew of the Dupo Police Department.
Hello, Facebook followers. Herb Simmons coming to you from Southern Illinois Championship Wrestling, better known as SICW. And I'm here today with a good friend of mine and many of his, Chief Dennis Plew from the Dupo Police Department. Chief, thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule. I know this week has been hectic. Last Sunday, February the 26th, you got a call that not only all the men and women in law enforcement hate to get, but as the chief, you got that call of one of your officers being shot.
Yes, that's right, Herb. Yep, we sure did. That was it was a horrible call to get. It's something I think that probably every chief of police, that's their biggest fear, is to hear that one of their officers has been wounded like that. And it was just I don't even know the words. I don't have words to describe how we all felt.
Oh, I can't even imagine, but I know it was a terrible day, but things have to go on. So first of all, how is your officer doing?
He's doing well. He's still in the intensive care unit at the hospital, and he's undergoing surgery right now, actually, as we speak. He's going to hopefully make a recovery. The doctors kind of predict, I guess, that through some long recovery, he'll probably come back to full active duty eventually.
Well, that'd be great. Yep. That's great news. But again, we have to. It's from talking to his wife, and I want to let everybody know that what we're doing here today. His wife Donna. It's the hours and minutes of every day have been long for her and her family. But the chief, I know, has been in constant contact with her, and she has just expressed the great support from everywhere, the law enforcement community, private citizens. It's been overwhelming. And so what we're going to talk about, Chief, real quick, is we've come together. We're going to do a fundraiser for your officer, Patrick Carrier.
Yes.
And we've got that set for Saturday, June the 3rd, and it's going to be at the Belle Claire Fairgrounds in Belleville, Illinois. We've been pretty successful in the past of helping with fundraisers, and so I appreciate you reaching out and asking for some help, and we're here at your disposal. That you're going to be hearing a lot more about this. Foremost, we want to make sure that the officer's recovery is positive, but we want to help make his and his family's journey that they're going to be on for the next many months a little bit easier. And of course, all of our condolences out to everybody and their families that was involved in this terrible, terrible situation. As you know, Chief, you've been in the business and the profession a long time, and when this affects one, it affects everybody.
Absolutely, it does.
And
yes.
And again, I know how's the morale with the rest of your department? They doing okay?
Morale's good. Yes. Actually, you had helped us set up a little counseling this past week, and that helped out a lot. We had people attend that. We've provided them with some information if they feel that they need counseling, that we can get that to them right away. So yeah, everything's good. The big thing is the counseling is important, and everybody knows. But just the fact that that Pat's going to be okay, that in itself just makes everything so much better.
Well, and it's
Yep.
probably some of the best medicine that anybody can get, knowing that their fellow Brotherhood member is going to be on that positive outlook. But again, as you and I talked the other day, physically, there's still that mental part of all of this that we all
yeah,
go through. And
there is.
for all of our first responders that were out there that day, and there was many officers, EMS, firefighters, it was just something that everybody come together, because as you said, when you get that call, when it come over the radio, officer shot, it just sends chills through you. But that's what we got to move on, and we're going to help the officer and his family, and we can do that with your help. And there's going to be a lot more information coming out on this in the near future. So please prepare for Saturday night, June the 3rd, at the Belle Claire Fairgrounds in Belleville, Illinois. You're going to see a lot more. We're talking to all the other departments throughout the county on both sides of the river, because you had help come from everywhere.
We did St. Louis County, just every place, federal agencies that came, Springfield FBI office, everybody's reached out to us. It's been just unbelievable.
Exactly, and that's what it's all about. And for you to follow us here on Facebook, stay tuned, because like I said, you're going to be hearing a lot more about that, and hopefully you'll be hearing from the officer's wife and family as we move forward, because we want to show that we have to be behind our men and women, our first responders, because we never know when we're going to have to count on them. So stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated on his progress and on the progress of the fundraiser. Everybody have a good day.
Herb, definitely some trying words from a man that was put in a position no police chief wants to be in.
No, that's one of those calls that, as you heard him say, you never want to get, and but it happens, and that's why this fundraiser is so important, to help not only help Sergeant Carrier out, but the entire DuPont Police Department heal from that, and other members of the law enforcement, because they've got a job out there that is dangerous, and it can happen to any of them, and we want to say that it won't ever happen again, but unfortunately that's something that we got to be faced with, and we'll be there to help any way we can.
Absolutely. Herb, we already talked about the big main event that's signed for that night, a battle behind bars, a steel cage match where Kevin Sullivan and the Purple Haze Andrew Anderson are returning to take on Flash Flanagan to settle that feud from what happened in January at the East Carondelet Community Center when Kevin Sullivan tried to light Flash Flanagan on fire. I think the building's going to erupt.
Well, and they weren't supposed to ever return, and that's kind of the decision that we made. But then Flash Flanagan came and didn't ask; he came and demanded that the ban be lifted. And out of respect for all the years of Flash Flanagan and our friendship, I kind of gave in to him, and that's why this match will take place inside of a locked steel cage. Because Flash Flanagan said, it's either going to be here or I'm going to go find him somewhere. So
that he said.
For those of the wrestling fans that have followed Kevin Sullivan's career, know that he is a very treacherous individual. And then when you have the likes of the man that he brings around with him, the Purple Haze, Andrew Anderson, there's no telling what's going to happen. I hope that cage is going to be able to contain it.
I hope we can get him in the cage before the battle starts. If you can get him in there and get the cage locked, we got a good chance of keeping them in there. But Herb, there's just so much more, and with it only being 6 days away, it's now time to talk about all the other matches that are happening. The SICW Classic Championship will be defended that night for the first time by the new champion, the Big Texan.
Well, the Big Texan is on a high, and rightly so. I mean, he's got the gold strap, that very prestigious SICW Classic title that contains all of those who have been inducted into the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. Their name is on that belt, and now he proudly will defend that against somebody of equal size, basically, equal toughness. And we're talking about the hired gun himself, Big Joe Helms, and we know what he's been doing since he arrived on the scene at SICW. So we've seen them in action before, and it didn't turn out too good then. Yeah,
absolutely. And fans, we're going to take a moment to take a look at the last time Big Joe Helms and the Big Texan went to battle. It was recently when SICW went to East St. Louis for a great fundraiser for the Shriners.
Well, and it was a great time at the Shriners Temple, and we're looking forward to going back there later on this year. But that night when the big Texan, before he was the SICW Classic champion, took on Big Joe Helms, and that erupted into a brawl.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk about more of the matches in a minute, but until then, let's take a look at some of the action from the Shriners Temple.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is your semifinal bout of the evening, and it is for the easy for me to say, the Iodine Shriners Championship. One fall, 30-minute time limit when the action begins. Your referee in charge is Nick Ragnow. Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by Lucky P. Larson Esquire. Representing the Dogtown Underground from Deception Pass, Washington. Weighing in tonight at 315 pounds. He is the hired gun, Big Joe Helms. And his opponent from Gun Barrel, Texas, weighing in at 361 pounds, the Big Texan.
Herb, if one championship match on June 3rd wasn't enough, you're going to have two. The SICW Central States title will be on the line.
Well, and with the champion now of your friend, Sean Vincent.
Oh, yeah, my great friend.
The Canadian hero, as he likes to be called. Hopefully he won't come out and sing the Canadian national anthem. If he is, we may have to cut the microphone off. But he will be defending that title that he won here a short time ago against the guy who just never ages a bit. And we're talking about get on board the night train, Gary Jackson. And I'm really looking forward to that match because Sean is doing nothing but running his lips and talking about everybody. Never seems to be happy about anything. I don't even think he's happy that he won the title. But if there's anybody that can put him in his place, I got to believe it's going to be the Night Train Gary Jackson.
But Night Train Gary Jackson was the first SICW Central States champion, if I remember.
Right.
So who better to take that title away and bring it back to old glory here behind us than the Night Train Gary Jackson, a man that deserves that title and represents this country.
Well, I'm really looking forward. I'm looking forward to all the matches, but that one there's got a little, just because of Sean Vincent. I mean, he just won't shut up. He just, he's not happy about anything. And he's done a complete 180 from when he was the SICW ambassador. And then when Brandon Bretta stripped him of that, basically, he just went downhill. And I'll tell you, he's a thorn in the side.
Absolutely. Well, fans, you see on your screen here a few more of the matches coming up on Sunday, June 3rd. Curtis Wilde goes into action against Kowalski. Kowalski used to be who Curtis referred to as his man-wall.
Man-wall. And, he is a big man-wall, I'll tell you. But, of course, Curtis Wilde has the power behind him with the fans. Everybody wanting to get on the Wild side.
Absolutely, and he will make sure everything stays nice and wild at the Belclair Fairgrounds. We're going to see the tag team of the Top Guns fighting in singles action on June 3rd. You're going to see Joe Vanetti taking on Axe Allward, a great competitor.
Well, and Axe has been sending messages out there that he's not going to take any prisoners anymore, that he wants to work his way up that ladder, and says he's got a surprise, so I'm kind of anxious to see what Axe has got up his sleeve.
Absolutely. And Brandon Beretta taking on Big Nasty Glenn Williams, the new somewhat protege of Sean Vincent.
Well, and another guy that comes by it rightly, never shuts up, has always got something to say, and that's Big Nasty Glenn Williams. But I got a feeling that the young Brandon Beretta, who is really making a name for himself, along with Joe Vanetti as the Top Guns. But as you said, they're in singles competition now, because it's okay to be tag team partners, but you got to be able to go out there and prove your wealth in singles competition also.
Absolutely, Herb. And one more match that night, the first ever two-time and the first ever back-to-back Bruiser Brody Battle Royal winner, Bobby D, will take on the Intern.
Well, Bobby D is still riding the high, even though he's, he won that Bruiser Brody. He did lose the Central States title, but he's still on a tie, and now he's going to be going against that bigger guy and the Intern. But I think Bobby D will have the fans behind him, but I'm looking forward to that one also. Absolutely.
Fans, we're just 6 days away. Saturday, June 3rd at the Belclair Fairgrounds. The doors will open at 5 p.m. with that great first responder vehicle demonstration. We've got police cars, fire trucks, ambulances, a whole litany of vehicles for the young fans to come out and see and thank those great first responders. And then 7 o'clock, the bell will ring for the big night of SICW wrestling action that we've just discussed. How can you be a part? You can go to SICW.org right now. Get your tickets, reserve your table, and make a sponsorship to help support this great cause. Supporting great causes, we have great sponsors here of SICW All-Star Wrestling, and it's time to hear a word from a couple of them.
SICW brings you The Purple Haze with Kevin Sullivan versus Flash Flanagan inside the Steel Cage, a battle behind bars.
Wrestling Fundraiser for wounded Tupelo Police Sergeant Pat
Carrier. Saturday, June 3rd, Belleville, Illinois. Bell time 7 p.m. It's a battle behind bar in a steel cage main event. Get your tickets now. Don't miss it. The SICW Battle Behind Bar. Get your tickets now at SICW.org.
Wrestling fans, there's nothing better than barbecue and wrestling. When you're hungry, stop by Mr. Barbecue with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia and Waterloo, Illinois. Great barbecue, cold beverages, and SICW wrestling. Herb, SICW is known for keeping old school wrestling alive. And you try and do it here every Sunday night, and tonight's going to be no different. Tonight, you're taking us back to a little bit more of that great Dick the Bruiser footage that you have come to acquire.
Well, and any of those that fans that are following us had to grow up on Dick the Bruiser, and it's just an honor to have that footage, and we want to share that with just little bits here and there of it. And we started last week doing that, and this week we reached into the archives to come up with just a couple of more of those little brief snippets, as we call them, because it takes you back in time. It takes you back in time to where wrestling was old school wrestling, and that's kind of what we do here at SICW.
Absolutely. Fans, let's take a look at this week's classic wrestling episodes.
They're set to lock up now in center ring. They do so. Referee hold. Bracero with the advantage, grabs an arm. Hammerlock by Bracero, and look at him shove that arm right up the back of Igor Zakov. And you know Igor's in a lot of pain already. And Bracero just drives it right up there. Referee Terry DeMora in there to check and see if we'll get a submission. I doubt it we'll get it this early, though.
Well, Bracero has got so much strength, Terry. For as small as he is, he's just like a spark plug.
Tug of the hair by Zakov. Referee Terry DeMora is right there, breaks that up, and Bracero retaliates in kind. There's Igor. Well, back and forth we go here. Igor reaching for a little hair. Bracero manages to maneuver out of the way. Bracero quite a well-rounded wrestler. Look at him. Scoops up the legs. Down he goes over the top and right in with that front face lock on Igor Zakov.
Terry, I don't know if the Russian knows what's going on at this point.
El Bracero will baffle him. There's no doubt of that. Bracero thrown off. Collision. Down goes Zakov. Off the ropes again. Bracero somersault over the top and backwards monkey flip and whoa. Almost.
He was almost in our lap, Terry.
Almost. Look at Bracero. Quite an athlete. Into the hair again by Zakov. Manages to use that to grab himself a head scissors on El Bracero. Let's see how Bracero might get out of this. A lot of pressure on that head. Bracero will be trying to relieve some of that pressure, if not totally get out of this hole.
I'll bet he's got to move for this one, Terry.
Well, the fans coming to Bracero's aid as Bracero beautifully kicks out. Great display of leverage there by El Bracero. Got him out of that predicament. And now Bracero grabs himself a side headlock on Igor Zakov. Bracero, quite a big name across the country.
Yes, he is, Terry.
Very, very well known in Texas. Spent a lot of time there, especially in Houston. Quite a name in Houston. Tackle, down goes Zakov. Off the ropes again is Bracero over the top. And there he is again. Got himself the head scissors. And he's just walking him right around the ring and tosses him out.
What a move, Terry. What a move.
Zakhoff landed with a resounding thud on the floor of the Hotel Sofitel.
I don't know if he's going to want to come back in or not, Terry.
He's got a 10 count on the outside, and he's getting back. The fans giving him a rough time with the chant of USA. Zakhoff slowly, reluctantly, returns to the ring, where El Bracero awaits.
Terry, it's amazing all the fans that have the American flags they're waving during this match.
Yeah.
They definitely do not like that Russian.
Fans can definitely do their part to psych out men like Igor Zakhoff. Test of strength here, the advantage for Zakhoff at the moment. Let's see what kind of move Bracero can use here. You can see those wheels turning, and it's just pure raw strength that Bracero's using to try to turn things around. He's almost got him, and nope. There he goes, just backs right on out of it and reverses it.
Great move. Great move.
Fabulous counter by El Bracero, and that's one of the secrets, not only being able to be a defensive but also an offensive wrestler. Bracero's going to go to the ropes. Watch this. He's going to climb
He's
him.
going to do the walk again, Terry.
He's going to walk the rope. Look at that. Incredible balance. This guy has got it all. Tosses him right on over, arm drag. And Bracero's there with the arm bar on. Zakhoff's shoulders, well, got a 1 count from referee Terry DeMora. El Bracero also makes frequent trips to Hawaii.
Very popular there.
And we're very proud to have him here at Bruiser Bedlam. Whenever you ask the fans, who would you most like to see in the ring? El Bracero's name always right up there.
He's so tough, Terry.
Referee in there again, a count of 1. And Bracero getting a little thumb in the mouth there. Zakhoff's complaining about that to the referee. Bracero, no, not me. Referee there again to catch those shoulders. Bracero. What's he going to do to that arm here? Let's see. Oh, you can imagine the pain that Zakhoff is in now. He's got that arm twisted about halfway around.
He could snap that shoulder.
He could.
So fast.
Bracero driving his own shoulder up into the armpit of Zakhoff. Zakhoff taken off his feet again by Supermax El Bracero. Referee warning Bracero about the hair. I don't think he did use the hair there. I think Zakhoff probably charged him with that.
Yeah.
Bracero now grabs himself a side headlock. He's flung off. Oh, caught a knee right into the midsection by Igor Zakhoff.
It was a low blow, Terry, from here.
Could have been. Boot to the head, Bracero, and the fans take up the chant of USA.
That drives him crazy.
You can see him now. He should be concentrating totally on Bracero. Instead, he's trying to block out the sounds of the fans. Bracero again head first into the turnbuckle. Now pulling the facial features. Referee breaking that right up. Great shot of El Bracero there. As Zakhoff moves in on him from behind, again rips away at the mouth. Might be biting him too.
He could be. I think that's in his little bag of tricks. When he's down and out, he starts pulling all kinds of wild maneuvers.
That's exactly it. Not a man to be trifled with. Because just as quickly as you want, he can come from behind and snatch a victory on you. Leg drop right across the throat there by Zakhoff. Bracero trying to get to his feet, does so, but Zakhoff is right there. Forces Bracero back to the ropes, lays a chop in on the chest. And is Zakhoff now whipping Bracero off the ropes again. Caught him with a clothesline. Bracero's down. Things look bad for Zakhoff, or for Bracero, as Zakhoff pins him. Count of 2 only, though.
Oh, he kicked out, Terry.
Good kick out, good strong kick out. El Bracero's got a lot left in him. But Bracero's right there. Looks like he ripped away at the eyes.
He even comes back so strong towards the end, Terry.
And Bracero's out.
When he's down, though, he comes back strong.
Let's hope he can come back from this. He took a hard fall out on the floor. Bruiser Bedlam live and direct from the Hotel Sofitel in Toledo, Ohio. All the stars here tonight. And quite a great program in store for you. Bracero, I think he's a little hot right about now, but Zakhoff manages to turn him around and from behind. Solid forearm across the chest. Boot. Knocks Bracero off the apron and down to the floor again. Bracero trying to get it all together here out on the floor. Good to see him back to his feet. The referee will order Zakhoff to stand back. As Bruiser tries to return to the ring, Zakoff rushes it again, turns him around. There's another one of those heavy forearms, and we heard that one. And Bruiser again, off the apron and down to the floor and almost into the laps of the ringsiders.
Bruiser's got to get his head together and get back in here.
He's got to get an offense. He's got to get a way to get into the ring and without Zakoff getting a hold of him first. And that's up to the referee to keep Zakoff back here. Again, Zakoff rushes in. He caught him with a couple of good headbutts. Bruiser over the top rope, flying body press. This could be it. Whoop.
He had a leg on the rope, Terry.
I didn't think the referee was going to catch that.
I didn't either.
He saw it. Reversal. Bruiser, though. Uh-oh. This is too fast to call. Over the top goes Igor Zakoff. And Bruiser whips him across the ring, catches him with a good chop on the chest.
That chop almost cut his beard.
Oh, right over the top. Zakoff took a backwards header over the top, and Bruiser through the ropes with a flying body press. The most unique move I've ever seen in wrestling.
Unbelievable.
How many men do you see really put their bodies on the line like that?
He flew in the air, Terry.
Whip off the ropes, but caught with a boot. Bruiser's down. Zakoff going up to that second rope.
Look out. Oh! Nobody home, Terry.
Miss on that one. Bruiser's right there, scoops him up. Body slam by El Bruiser. And he may be going to the top rope. He may be going for the superfly here. Referee doesn't want him on the ropes, but look out below.
Whoa!
That's got to be it.
El Bruiser just flew through the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, 10 minutes, 25 seconds with a super flying body press. The winner, El Bruiser. Don Kent handing off the jacket to one of our lovely ring attendants. And away we go.
Well, this Johnny Walker's going to have a big problem. He's got an amateur experience against one of the old professional boys. He knows how to take you apart piece by piece.
He's got some fight in him. He throws Ken into the turnbuckle, comes in with a shoulder.
Good moves by Johnny Walker.
He's giving up weight. He's even giving up height. And Don Kent's not the tallest man in wrestling, but he's got heart.
People start to bark. The Bulldog distracted, but look at him. Ooh, he laid one in on Johnny Walker. Fist right to the jaw. Johnny Walker backpedaling now, but the Bulldog reels him in again. Sets him up. Watch that fist. And, ooh, there it goes again. Going to rearrange some dental work.
Those shots to the jaw are so powerful, Terry.
That's something the Bulldog is famous for. One thing we might mention is our official photographer for Bruiser Bedlam, Brad McFarland, here at ringside. Award-winning photographer. The reason we mention that is we're so proud of the fact that Brad has won for the second year in a row the award of Wrestling Photographer of the Year, as awarded by the Wrestling Fans International Association. Got a beautiful trophy, his second. Brad's photographs appear in many wrestling magazines. If you buy those, you'll see the name Brad McFarland very often. A stellar photographer, and we're certainly very proud
There's
to
Brad
have him.
now. There's Brad now watching
There
for
he is.
action. He photographs boxing as well as wrestling, and he's one of the best freelance photographers in the squared circle.
He's a great asset to the organization.
He's snapping away at the Bulldog Don Kent.
And Don Kent snapping away at Johnny Walker.
I guess so.
With those big forearms, in my opinion, the hardest forearms in wrestling.
Jerry, it looks like Johnny Walker's red.
Not to mention black and
And
blue.
he may be black and blue by the time this is all over with.
I wondered how long it was going
Well,
to take us to do that.
for a young, inexperienced hand, I was impressed with the way he's conducted himself in this match, even if he loses in the next 5 seconds.
Oh, gee. Right
And that
down
was
over the
vicious.
top
That was
rope.
brutal. That takes the wind right out of you. Here comes a neck breaker.
A reverse spinning
Perfectly
neckbreaker
executed.
by
Perfectly
Bulldog Don
executed.
Kent. He's in for the count.
That's all.
Don
she wrote.
Kent a winner. A very game Johnny Walker, but he just didn't have enough to go in against the Bulldog.
Well, here we go. Terry Sullivan at ringside with Sam Botek Jr. from Miller Beer and Miller Lite. And Sam, all I can say is wow.
Terry, is this ring gonna hold?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I know one thing. If one of these men start coming this way,
we'll go the other way.
we are going the other way.
Referee hold here with Moose. Throws him off. Not going to see a whole lot of wrestling here. These guys are out to prove who is the most powerful man in professional wrestling. You've got the two biggest. Now we'll find out who the mightier of the two is.
The size of the Kentucky Butcher is just so awesome.
Astounding. Ooh, look at that. Impressive. Caught the Kentucky Butcher off balance there. Moose Cholak, long known for his pure power in the ring. The Kentucky Butcher, a relatively new find of Dr. Jerry Graham. This battle has been brewing. Uh-oh. Whoa. Well, neither one of them. Let's
the
see.
referee wanted to get out of
Watch
the way on
out.
that one, Terry.
Neither one of them giving an inch here. It's kind of like a sumo match almost.
You know, that came to mind. It really does.
You won't see the sumo wrestlers doing that, though. Big clubbing arms. Those arms got to weigh 100 pounds themselves, I would imagine. Moose hauls off and lets fly. Oh, timber.
He caught one on the tip of that chin.
Like one of those giant redwood trees.
It was like Goliath going down.
Moose backs up the Butcher into the corner. Uh-oh. And look at that ring move. Oh, Moose just hurled him off, caught him off balance, and the Butcher went over and down. These two giants square off again. Moose with the standing wrist lock on the Kentucky Butcher. And he's pulling that. He's pulling it back. Look at him. Butcher in a lot of pain now. Let's see if he's got enough power to throw Moose off here with this one. Well, he didn't. My gosh, give Moose a lot of credit for that one. I think Moose Cholak, in my book, is one so far on point, Sam.
I think you're right. Just can't believe the power that these two men have.
Whoa.
I'll tell you what. Whoa.
Jeez.
I think 3 rows of the fans just walked out of the way
Just
here.
bailed out, yeah. They lock up again in the referee hold. These two giant wrestlers. Butcher, couple of fists right into the side.
You know, Terry, I don't think I've seen the Kentucky Butcher ever go up against a tougher opponent than Moose Cholak. I think this is the biggest man he's ever faced.
Beyond a doubt, yes it is. And a Moose, couple of good old-fashioned right hands. Into the chin of the Kentucky Butcher, tosses him out of the ring. Good Lord! Oh! And if that man gets up from that,
Did you hear the floor shake, Terry?
hear it. I felt it, man. I'm telling you. Jeez.
I think the chandeliers are intact. I think we're all right.
Well, no, count it out. Butcher did not get back. I wondered.
Herb, some more great classics from Dick the Bruiser.
Always, the most dangerous man in the business, as we used to call him, and we're just fortunate to have that library now with SICW, to where we can share that with our great SICW followers. And between that and the wrestling at the Chase, it's an honor to have that to share.
Absolutely, and fans, we'll take a few moments now to hear from some more of our great sponsors of SICW All-Star Wrestling. We'll be right back with you. Wrestling fans, you looking for the best in daily lunch specials and great menu food items? Look no further than Layla's Roadhouse, 440 Falling Springs Road in Cahokia Heights, Illinois. That's right, a family sit-down dining and always great specials. Also has the best pizza in the area.
SICW brings you the Purple Haze with Kevin Sullivan versus Flash Flanagan inside the Steel Cage, a battle behind bars. Wrestling fundraiser for wounded Dupont Police Sergeant Pat Carrier. Saturday, June 3rd, Belleville, Illinois. Bell time 7 p.m. It's a battle behind bar in a steel cage main event. Get your tickets now. Don't miss it. The SICW Battle Behind Bar. Get your tickets now at SICW.org.
Well, Herb, another great SICW Sunday night We talked about the big card coming up 6 days away on June 3rd when SICW returns to the Belle Claire Fairgrounds. And if that's not enough, the following Saturday, June 10th, SICW will again return to the Belle Claire Fairgrounds. 2 great shows coming up here in the next 14 days.
Well, you know, and the June 10th was our regular scheduled monthly show at the fairgrounds, but when that terrible incident happened with the Sergeant Patrick Carrier and we wanted to throw this fundraiser together, you know, that's why the fans are going to be the beneficial of this. They're going to get 2 great SICW events, June 3rd and June 10th, and you can see June 10th, it continues on, you know, a big 6-man tag. Man, that's going to be a wild one.
The ring will be full, the action will be hot and heavy, and it will be something you don't want to miss. So fans, do us that favor. Go to SICW.org right now. Get your tickets for this Saturday, June 3rd, for the Sergeant Patrick Carrier fundraiser. Get your tickets, get your tables, get your sponsorships, and then join us again the following Saturday, June 10th, when SICW returns for their monthly show at the Belle Claire Fairgrounds. And Herb, that's not all. Sunday, June 11th, television taping in East Carondelet resumes.
Free, and you know, you attend the show the night before. You can come to the TV studio there at the East Carondelet Community Center and be a part of it and see how it all comes together. And we're really excited to get back to doing that. So come on down. That all doors open at 11 o'clock. It's free. That's the good part of it. We'll start taping at noon, and you can be a part of that TV audience. And you know, we just want to remind everybody tomorrow being Memorial Day to have a safe one, eat plenty of barbecue, and just remember what that all stands for as you see Old Glory there in the background with us.
Absolutely. So fans, we thank you for joining us tonight and every Sunday night for SICW All-Star Wrestling. Visit SICW.org so that next Saturday we can see you at the matches.